Hi, and welcome back to our Flowzone tutorials. In this video, we are going to be looking at project lists and in particular, how you can organize the columns within a project list. So let's dive into a test system. I'm already in the projects area, so you can see I'm in the main menu, projects. And in this system, I've got three project lists set up. I've got a list of live projects, completed projects, and I've got a list of all projects. What I'm going to do is just play around with the setup of the columns in here. Now, the first thing I might want to do is there may be a column in here which I've got no particular interest in. There's some information, but look, it's not of interest to the way I want to use this list. So I would want to remove it. And you can do that by going to a column and in the header area, rolling the mouse over the name of the column, and you can see that some options presented here, and in those options is the remove column option. So I've got a column here for checked, but that's of no interest to me, let's say, and I want to remove that column. Okay, and that column has now disappeared. Now it's worth noting that I have just configured something on this list, and it's this list only. Okay, if I go to completed projects over here, the check column is still there. So if I wanted to, if I wanted to remove the check column in every list where it appeared, I would have to go through and I would do it there, and I would also do it there. Now, that's actually useful that you can have different column setups in different lists. So you're not restricted to having the same column setup across all your lists. And that's really useful in Flowzone when you have multiple lists, which many people do. They have many lists, but they want to have different column setups. Now, the other thing we might want to do is we might want to move a column from one location in the flow of columns to another location. So in this case, let me say I want to move the description further ahead in the flow. So I want to move it one to the left. Well, again, I roll over the description in the header area, and I've got an option now to move the column left. So I can move the column left, and you can see that that's now jumped to the left and the status has come to the right. Equally, if I wanted to move it back again, if I didn't like it there, I can use the option to move the column right. And again, move it further to the right. So you can see it's moving further and further right as I use that particular option. Okay. So you've got these basic options here to remove columns, to move a column to the left, and to move a column to the right. If you want to add a column, then you go into the section which is linked from this spanner icon. So this is where you can customize your screen more fully. And what we're going to be looking at here are the columns which have been selected, and then we can have a look at the columns which are available. Now, if you notice, the columns which have been selected, I've got 8 selected, which correspond to our 8 columns that we have in the list at the moment. You see name, company name, type, status, notes, description, option. If I just scroll down, category. So these correspond, on the left hand side, these correspond to what I've actually got in my list view at the moment. Now, it may be that I want to add an additional column. And if you recall, I removed the checked column. And let's say I want to add that one back in. So if I move that across, I can do that, and I can put it into a particular location within my flow. So let's say I want it between typed and status. So I'm going to drop it in there. And that's now going to appear when I click on apply. That's going to then appear between type and status. So let's just do that to start with. And there you go. Between type and status, I now have the column checked. Let's go back into the customize screen options. So you can see I've now got 9 columns selected in here. Again, these correspond in the flow of columns that you have in your list view. And there may be another column that you want. And let's put in, for example, the delivery date column. So now I could drag it as I did last time by putting it in a particular location, but the other option I've got is to just click on the plus sign. And if I click on the plus sign, what's going to happen, it's just going to add it to the bottom of this list. So it's going to put it into the final slot on the columns that have been selected. So there's the delivery date there, the final one after category. And again, if I apply that, there you can see you've got the delivery date here as a column. Now let's just do one more visit to the customize screen options. Now maybe I don't want to add a new column in, but maybe I just want to reorganize my columns, and then rather than moving columns left and right as we saw earlier, we can simply move these columns around by just dragging them from one location to the next. So in this case, I've promoted my delivery date to the third column. I've got the status now as the fourth column, and all the other columns follow after that. So let's just apply that, just remembering we've got the delivery date now as the third column, and you can see I've got my delivery date column here now. So hopefully that's given you some ideas on how you can organize your columns within each project list. So that's it for this video. We'll look forward to catching up in the next video.